Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Awakening the thunder power at the beginning, I was swollen. Chapter 41. The next day, the staff explained the rules of the competition to them. As the top 50 students participating in the competition, there is no need to participate in the preliminary election. Within 1,000 students will compete for the 50 spots, and then 100 students will compete for the strongest freshman championship. As soon as this rule came out, the two of them could rest for 3 days. Many people in the guest house knew about their strength, but some people were dissatisfied. Realm cannot explain everything, and strength is the main thing. During this period, someone came to provoke him, so Zhang Baichuan called the staff directly. This move made other students think that there was something wrong with the two. Some people also reported that Zhang Baichuan and his wife lived together between men and women during the competition. After the staff saw the marriage certificate of the two, they simply ignored it. Zhang Baichuan and the two would practice some exercises when they had nothing to do, and talk about human body aesthetics when they were tired. The two of them were indifferent to the news about the preliminary round. In Zhang Baichuan's view, they were just noobs pecking each other. In the preliminary round, there were contestants with martial arts masters defeating military commanders, and there were also videos of children from aristocratic families starting to build momentum, with military commanders toughing out Marquis Wu. These news were very popular on the internet. Luo Yi also asked Zhang Baichuan if he was worried, and Zhang Baichuan slapped Luo Yi on the butt. The meaning is obvious: if you don't believe in your husband's strength, you should be punished. Just after the preliminary round, the staff sent them the rules and procedures of the competition. The drawing of lots will begin tomorrow to determine the top 50. The rule is that you cannot use weapons, and you cannot kill others when they are defenseless. After all, it's just a competition, not a life or death duel. Hundreds of people began to draw lots, and the reporters paid great attention to Zhang Baichuan and the two of them. Cheating or not, they are the hottest at the moment. Other players are also full of hostility towards them, and they all want to perform well and show their faces in front of the people across the country. Get the number and determine your opponent. A group of reporters gathered around and asked Zhang Baichuan questions. Zhang Baichuan, what do you want to say about this freshman competition? In the face of absolute strength, right is always right. I hope that after this competition, no flies will jump in front of me again. The reporters were very excited about Zhang Baichuan's arrogant words. This was hot news. Among your newbies to the game, are there any opponents who you feel are threatening? No, I haven't found out yet that he is my one-in-one general. The reporter was so excited that he jumped up. Regardless of whether Zhang Baichuan had the ability or not, he immediately became a fan. With this news in hand, his promotion and salary increase are no longer a dream. I heard that you are married. Is this true? Luo Yi and I have received the certificate, but we haven't held the wedding yet. As reporters asked, Zhang Baichuan took his arrogance to the extreme. There was a strong discussion on the internet. Some people thought that Zhang Baichuan was short-sighted and relied on cheating to gain attention. Others thought that Zhang Baichuan was too powerful and disdained to associate with the freshmen. The competition soon came, and Luo Yi was the first to play. Her opponent is a martial artist level player who has a record of defeating military commanders in the preliminary round. The person opposite was very excited when he saw Luo Yi. As long as he defeated her, the school would give him a lot of resources. Looking at the boy with a sharp mouth and monkey cheeks across from him, with a lewd look in his eyes, Luo Yi felt a little nauseous. He immediately burst out his spiritual power, rushed over quickly, and kicked his opponent unconscious in one round. The medical staff outside the field quickly rushed to catch up. The player who fell on the ground had less air coming in than going out. If it takes a while, it might break. The players and spectators on the sidelines were all shocked by Luo Yi. Even though he was strong, he was still so heavy-handed. Even Zhang Baichuan was a little surprised. This girl must have been holding her breath for a long time and wanted to give him some vent. Luo Yi was a little embarrassed when she stepped down. She didn't expect her opponent to be so weak. Fortunately, her opponent didn't die suddenly. Now she realized what Zhang Baichuan said at that time, fearing that one move would kill her opponent. When Luo Yi came to Zhang Baichuan touched her head and asked her to relax. This scene made some boys extremely bitter. Such a powerful and beautiful girl was actually captured by Zhang Baichuan. Not long after, it was Zhang Baichuan's turn to come on stage. Opposite him was a military commander, who was obviously a member of a so-called aristocratic family. Zhang Baichuan and Kai Kunken are invited to come on stage. Kai Kunken looked at Zhang Baichuan with disdain. Today he must let the national audience take a good look at who is the strongest. After thinking about it, I also placed a few paws on the stage. Zhang Baichuan almost laughed when he saw the opening move of the slut opposite him. Hey, I'll give you a basketball and you'll start dancing. At the beginning of the game, Zhang Baichuan was afraid that his opponent would be electrocuted directly, so he gave his opponent a big hand without using his thunder power. Kai Kunken was furious. This was a naked insult. Blue flames appeared all over his body, which was a variant of the fire power. When the audience saw Kai Kunken covered in flames, the scene immediately became intense. This is like a competition. We are here to see supernatural powers, not wrestling. Seeing Kai Kunken rushing over with his superpower, Zhang Baichuan condensed several arcs of electricity 2 meters long and 2 fingers wide in his hands, and slashed forward. As soon as the thunder and lightning came into contact with Kai Kunken, the spiritual armor on his body was directly melted away. His whole body trembled several times, and his supernatural powers immediately disintegrated. He fell to the ground in an instant, his hair exploded and black smoke came out of his mouth. This is still the case where Zhang Baichuan keeps his hand, otherwise when the thunder in his palm is used, the opponent will be directly turned into ashes. The scene suddenly became quiet. Kai Kunken, who was so arrogant just now, was instantly killed by Zhang Baichuan's understatement of thunder and lightning. This incident was beyond their expectations, and the audience couldn't accept it. Seeing Kai Kunken twitching on the ground, the medical staff rushed over to rescue him. Fortunately, the situation was still stable. Everyone had to sigh. These two couples are so vicious. Let your opponent rescue you at every turn. The other contestants were also wary of Zhang Baichuan. This hand of lightning is difficult to deal with. Some people quickly called and wanted to make a protective clothing that can withstand lightning at home. Seeing Kai Kunken twitching regularly on the ground, Zhang Baichuan thought of the star in the original world and couldn't help but laugh. When the audience saw Zhang Baichuan actually smiling at the fallen person, they all thought that Zhang Baichuan was a violent maniac with an evil heart. Another camera took a close-up of his smiling face. This expression immediately exploded on the internet. They no longer questioned Zhang Baichuan's strength, but said that he was a perverted and violent maniac. Except for the enthusiastic people in P City who spoke for Zhang Baichuan, everyone else turned to the latter. Zhang Baichuan didn't know anything about all this, and even if he knew it, he wouldn't pay much attention to it. In the face of public opinion, the more you argue, the bigger the public opinion will be. Baichuan, what were you laughing at just now? Luo Yi also wanted to know that Zhang Baichuan had never smiled like this before. I thought of something happy. When he talked about this, Zhang Baichuan couldn't stop smiling. Tell me the story. I can't say, this is my personal secret. Seeing Zhang Baichuan say this, Luo Yi didn't ask any more questions. Since he was happy, he didn't need to think so much. As soon as today's game ended, reporters gathered around. Zhang Baichuan, why are you smiling so happily on stage? I thought of something happy. Some people say that you are a violent maniac who seeks pleasure by beating people. What do you say? Nothing. I always hate people challenging me. As for beating people for fun, that's nonsense. Zhang Baichuan was a little speechless when he heard many reporters asking him if he was a pervert. Maybe someone on the internet was taking the lead again. What do you think of the following games? Do you think you can win first place? Remember, I still said the same thing. That year, I had my hands in my pockets and didn't even know what my opponent was. As soon as Zhang Baichuan said these two words, the reporter was so excited. I like those of you who dare to speak out. Then what level do you think your strength is? I think, below the level of Grandmaster, I have nothing to fear. Seeing Zhang Baichuan's arrogant words again, the reporter really wanted to hug Zhang Baichuan and worship him, while the camera took pictures of his face crazily. Regarding Zhang Baichuan's remarks on the internet, a large group of people immediately criticized Zhang Baichuan with words and writings, saying that Zhang Baichuan was arrogant and that such people should be banned. Some people also say that if young people are not arrogant, are they still young people? If you have strength, you must show it. If you have such strength at this age, you are probably crazier than him. At this moment, Daxia's official website also spoke out for Zhang Baichuan. Young people in Daxia should work hard and have an attitude of giving up to others. As this year's freshman champion, Zhang Baichuan has strength and responsibility. He is the winner of the bronze contribution medal and the silver contribution medal. Contemporary young people should learn from him. As soon as the official news came out, the trend on the internet changed. As a Daxia native, in an era where everyone can awaken their superpowers, they all know the value of contribution medals, and the contributions made by others are indelible. Only then did those netizens who followed others realize that they were being treated as gunmen. The freshmen who have won 2 contribution medals are the kind of people who cheated to get the top spot in the college entrance examination. Netizens in P City are extremely proud at this time. These are the people of our city, heroes who dare to face the beast tide, and they have promoted Zhang Baichuan's heroic deeds on the internet. At this time, the contestants also knew about this and were thinking of how to deal with Zhang Baichuan. They didn't care about contributing medals. The most important thing was to be able to defeat Zhang Baichuan. The rules of the competition only say that you can use weapons. Is it okay if I get some armor? Is it reasonable for me to take some serious elixirs? What they lack most is not money, but honor. The children of these aristocratic families all seek help from the family, and the family is also very supportive. Being able to defeat such a person is very valuable to the development of the family. Zhang Baichuan and Luo Yi also returned to their residence and saw this matter online. Luo Yi was very happy about the official support for Zhang Baichuan, and her face was full of pride. This is the man she chose. Zhang Baichuan didn't take it seriously, strength was the most important thing. Maybe other contestants will take action, but in the face of absolute strength, they are all vain. The next day, the 50 advanced players started drawing lots again, and today the top 25 will be decided. This live broadcast attracted the attention of many people. At this time, the enthusiastic people in P City were looking forward to Zhang Baichuan and Luo Yi killing everyone in the game, and they stayed in the live broadcast room before the broadcast started. In the past 2 days, Zhang Weiru even went to Zhang Baichuan's house to watch the game with Lu Yulan. Regarding the match between the two yesterday, their faces were full of pride. Although there was some violence, the victim was not his own child. At 9 o'clock in the morning, the live broadcast room started to have pictures. At this time, the contestants were drawing lots. I don't know if it was a deliberate arrangement. Zhang Baichuan's opponents were both martial arts masters, and the opponents of other military commanders were also martial arts masters. At this moment, in a hotel, looking at Zhang Baichuan who was being interviewed, his eyes were full of murderous intent, and his huge chest was rising and falling, obviously with anger. Zhang Hongyan was very excited when she saw Zhang Baichuan in the live broadcast room. The leader was furious when he didn't kill Zhang Baichuan last time. I originally thought that Zhang Tian would succeed with the 5 mad cow beasts, but I didn't expect that Zhang Baichuan's strength would improve so quickly, and it would not be so easy to assassinate him in the future. When the game was over, Zhang Hongyan was ready to ask the guardian to take action. At this moment, she felt that she was no longer sure that she could take down Zhang Baichuan with her own hands. Zhang Baichuan saw that the opponent at this time was a girl. Facing Zhang Baichuan's gaze, her eyes were full of despair. If she were like Kai Kunken, she would be afraid of being disfigured if she was shocked. As soon as the two sides came on stage, the girl directly asked Zhang Baichuan to treat her decently. Zhang Baichuan did it. Although he didn't use any supernatural powers, he seemed to have used too much power. The girl was sent flying by a mad cow punch from him. Although the girl was not seriously injured, she was so frightened that she screamed. The audience were shocked by Zhang Baichuan's actions. He was ruthless in destroying flowers. The live broadcast room was also very popular. He was ruthless and ruthless. Some people asked him how he found his girlfriend. Did he win her? Lu Yulan didn't know whether to laugh or cry when she saw it. Why was she so careless in her actions? But as long as her son won, it would be fine. Zhang Baichuan was also a little embarrassed. He originally used the power of a martial artist, but why was he knocked out in an instant? So vulnerable. After the referee announced the result, Zhang Baichuan quickly ran off the stage to find Luo Yi. Regarding Zhang Baichuan's knocking the girl away, Luo Yi said naughtily that he did a good job. In the next few games, Zhang Baichuan was a little boring, but Luo Yi was very concerned about it. She had just advanced to the rank of military commander not long ago, and she was about the same strength as those military commanders. She wanted to observe which of her strong opponents were. Zhang Baichuan had to act as a commentator for her, explaining the other party's weaknesses and what to pay attention to. Soon it was Luo Yi's turn to take the stage and face an opponent in the martial arts realm. Luo Yi also took it seriously. It would be bad if the boat capsized in the gutter. Luo Yi sprinted and kicked him over. Due to the gap in realm, the other party could only quickly resist in desperation. But the effect was not very good, and Luo Yi was kicked out of the field. The audience also cheered. This scene was similar to Zhang Baichuan's, except that Luo Yi received mostly praise, while Zhang Baichuan received contempt. Comments on the internet also filled the screen, praising Luo Yi for being so dashing, beautiful and strong. Others are also saying that she is too violent, just like Zhang Baichuan. Sure enough, we are not a family, we don't enter the same family. Lu Yulan was also very happy to see Luo Yi's performance. The stronger the two of them are, the happier she will be. These are her own people. Although Zhang Weiru was a little embarrassed to see her daughter being so violent, she was also satisfied. Not surprisingly, Zhang Baichuan was interviewed by a large number of reporters. Classmate Zhang Baichuan, when you punched Li Ruoxi out of the field, what were you thinking at the time? The reporter who interviewed him had experience. Zhang Baichuan's words were astonishing. I don't know what golden quotes will be revealed this time. When I saw that the opponent was a girl, I thought about using some force. But when I first came into contact with her, she flew out before I could use any force. As soon as these words came out, the audience in the live broadcast room also exploded. Listen, is this what people say? What do you mean, the opponent flew out before you even exerted your strength? Regarding Zhang Baichuan's words, classmate Li Ruoxi cried and fainted in the toilet. It was so insulting and she would never come to the competition next time. Then do you have any noteworthy opponents among the top 25 in the future? With Zhang Baichuan's golden quotations just now, the reporter felt that he had made a lot of money today. There's no one worthy of my attention yet. As long as I make a slight move, that's already the limit of this game. As soon as this sentence was said, not only the audience in the live broadcast room exploded, but this sentence appeared directly on the hot search list. Everyone on the internet was in an uproar due to Zhang Baichuan's arrogant tone. Some people just start complaining when they open their mouths. If they have some strength and don't take others seriously, they won't be able to get far in the future. Some people also think that Zhang Baichuan is very domineering. If young people are not arrogant, are they still young people? The reporter at this moment was dumbfounded. Although the interview was very satisfactory, you were really not afraid of offending people. Then what do you think of Luo Yi's competition? How far can she go? It was not difficult for Zhang Baichuan to guess what Luo Yi said. The wind power represents high speed. Now that she is in the realm of a military commander, her spiritual power has begun to cut. As long as the other party does not encounter the kind of secret method that can improve their strength, there are not many people who can match her. If her opponent is not that good, I guess she could be in the top 5. Sure enough, Zhang Baichuan was still the same Zhang Baichuan, and he didn't look down on the contestants. When the other players heard his words, they gritted their teeth with hatred and really wanted to beat him up. Didn't you just win 2 games? Is it really okay to be so successful? Another day has passed, and today's competition will determine the top 13, which means that one person will have a bye and advance directly. Zhang Baichuan felt that this competition was somewhat shady, and he actually got a bye. Zhang Baichuan was missing from today's game. The enthusiasm of the audience in the live broadcast room was somewhat reduced, and there were much fewer barrages. Zhang Baichuan also saw many strange powers, one of which was a boy who was a master of mental power. Seeing the opponent's fighting style, Zhang Baichuan was also touched, and felt a lot more inspiration for the use of mental power. Later, I also learned that the opponent's name was Lu Chen, and his sword handling made it difficult for the opponent to parry. His body skills are also quite elegant, which shows that he has advanced body and martial arts skills. Thinking of this, Zhang Baichuan thought of Luo Qianjun again. Without him, wouldn't the magic of magic be possible? Regarding Lu Chen's ability to use weapons, the official statement is that the opponent has a spiritual power and is given special treatment. If you don't use weapons, you won't be an opponent of the same realm at all. But Zhang Baichuan didn't take the opponent to heart. The venue was so big. If he hit with a lightning fist, the opponent would have no place to escape. Now I invite Luo Yi and Shilei to come on. Luo Yi's opponent this time was a strong man with explosive body muscles. At the same age, he actually looked 25 years old. Shilei is a general of the earth element, and the spiritual armor is a mobile fortress. It is simply rough-skinned and thick-skinned. The two sides fought for dozens of rounds before they won. If Luo Yi's wind attribute hadn't been cutting, it wouldn't have been possible. Who wins and who loses? After winning this competition, Luo Yi finally had the confidence she had before. Ever since she had Zhang Baichuan, she always felt that she was a burden and that no matter how hard she tried, she could not catch up with him. Zhang Baichuan was a pervert, and he had beaten her into doubting her life. This battle gave her confidence again, and she was considered the best in similar competitions. Seeing the high-spirited Luo Yi, Zhang Baichuan was also very happy. The better the mentality, the smoother the cultivation. I will reward her well tonight and let her be on top. As soon as Luo Yi took the stage, reporters rushed over. I can't interview Zhang Baichuan, but it's not bad to interview Luo Yi. Both of them are probably masters of language. Classmate Luo Yi, how do you evaluate your opponent this time? My opponents are all very strong, but I found that I am stronger. The reporter who was interviewing showed an expression that was indeed the case. This was another breaking news. The audience in the live broadcast room was also shocked by Luo Yi's words. How can such a beautiful girl like you say such tough words? But I like it so much. If I hadn't been able to defeat Zhang Baichuan, I would have wanted to come and rob him. Then what do you think of the opponents behind you? Do your best. As the nation's new talent, the contestants must have their own trump cards. There is no guarantee that they can all beat them. This sentence is quite satisfactory and there is nothing wrong with it. But the audience was not happy. I came to watch your live interview just to watch you show off. Then what do you think of Zhang Baichuan? Luo Yi's eyes lit up when he mentioned Zhang Baichuan. He is the most powerful person of his age that I have ever seen, and he is also the person I have always wanted to surpass. His power exceeds my understanding of the realm. Okay. From this glance, it was clear that Luo Yi was fascinated by Zhang Baichuan. Netizens also shouted out, what kind of ecstasy soup did Zhang Baichuan pour into Luo Yi to make him so obsessed with Zhang Baichuan? They suggested a strict investigation. After the game, Zhang Baichuan returned to his residence. Seeing that Luo Yi was so happy, Zhang Baichuan praised her again, making Luo Yi laugh happily, with an expression that she would give her nothing else. Zhang Baichuan told Luo Yi the players who won today's game and told her how to prevent and deal with them. Luo Yi listened very carefully, and she also knew her own strength. Since Zhang Baichuan told her, it meant that the other party was a threat to her. You performed well in today's game. What reward do you want? Seeing Zhang Baichuan's expression, Luo Yi understood instantly and responded with an expression of a fellow man. Today it's my turn to take the lead. You can't move or resist. Understood, you have the final say today. Zhang Baichuan's expression turned out to be such, which made Luo Yi so embarrassed that she pounced on him viciously. Omitting 10,000 words. When the two woke up, it was already the next morning. Luo Yi is full of confidence for today's game. Today's schedule has changed. The top 13 will take the top 8. In other words, the buys will compete with the losers for 2 spots. The ones who got a bye this time were not Zhang Baichuan and Zhang Baichuan. As long as they won, they would advance directly. Fortunately, the two of them are not opponents of each other, otherwise they would have had a headache. Zhang Baichuan drew lots and it was Lu Chen, and the audience cheered. Lu Chen's performance in the past 2 days was very good. The audience was very excited to see how he wielded a sword. Some even shouted for him to teach Zhang Baichuan a lesson. Zhang Baichuan doesn't care much about Lu Chen. He is also a mental magic general, so why are he afraid of you? I invite Zhang Baichuan and Lu Chen to come on stage. As soon as the two came on the stage, the audience burst into warm applause. The audience in the live broadcast room was excited. Zhang Baichuan had been showing off to see what he was like. Lu Chen didn't know Zhang Baichuan very well. He had only seen him electrocute Kai Kunken. As for his strength, he was still a little unclear. Game start. Lu Chen struck first, with two daggers floating in front of him, ready to attack, but when he saw Zhang Baichuan being indifferent, he became a little angry. Is this looking down on people? Zhang Baichuan folded his arms and watched Lu Chen's actions quietly. His eyes seemed to tell him to continue. This made Lu Chen very angry. Who was he looking down on? The dagger quickly attacked Zhang Baichuan, but when it touched half a meter of Zhang Baichuan's body, the dagger could no longer move forward. At this time, Lu Chen was also stunned. How could this be possible? He gritted his teeth and started to use his mental power. The audience was also shocked at this time. Did Lu Chen let himself go? Why not move on and teach Zhang Baichuan a lesson? Zhang Baichuan also felt the other party's mental power, which was similar to the one he had just broken through. The other party's methods of controlling objects were more flexible and versatile than his. At this moment, he was also using the art of controlling objects, and his mental power tightly wrapped the opponent's dagger. Lu Chen also felt that Zhang Baichuan actually had spiritual talent, and was no weaker than him. How can this be? Even if his force is stronger than others, why is his mental power so high? He grits his teeth and continues to increase his expenditure on mental power. The more he used his mental power to fight against Lu Chen, the more Zhang Baichuan gained a new understanding of the art of controlling objects. At this moment, Lu Chen's dagger was shaking violently, and some people outside the field also saw that Zhang Baichuan also had mental talent, and was no less talented than Lu Chen. What kind of monster was he? At this moment, the direction of the sword tips of the two daggers changed. They were now facing Lu Chen. No matter how Lu Chen responded, they couldn't resist it. He was so anxious that he was sweating profusely. The dagger was slowly approaching Lu Chen, which made Lu Chen even more anxious. In desperation, he began to use all his strength. But the situation did not improve. Not long after resisting, Lu Chen's mental power was exhausted. Zhang Baichuan had long noticed Lu Chen's state. At this moment, his main task was to hold the dagger steady. When Lu Chen fell to the ground with exhausted energy, the dagger spun around Zhang Baichuan. What happened made the audience unable to accept why Zhang Baichuan could also wield a sword. Why did Lu Chen fall down? What happened? Only people with high realms can understand that in this mental competition, Zhang Baichuan crushed Lu Chen. It wasn't until the referee announced Zhang Baichuan's victory that the audience realized that the two had decided the winner. How long had it been? Is this Lu Chen so weak? At this moment, the live broadcast room was also filled with barrages, and the screen was filled with question marks. It wasn't until someone said that Zhang Baichuan also had mental talent and was stronger than Lu Chen that he realized that Zhang Baichuan was a monster. How could it be so strong? Zhang Baichuan also gained a lot from this battle. After learning more about the art of controlling objects, he looked at Lu Chen, who was lying on the ground with a pale face, and a smile appeared on his face. Your mental power is very good. I hope we can communicate with you if we have time. Regarding Zhang Baichuan's words, Lu Chen's face softened a lot. The guy in front of me was very arrogant, and he didn't expect to praise himself. The audience in the live broadcast room did not expect that this talkative king would praise others. Looking at it this way, Zhang Baichuan is quite handsome. The medical staff came up to check Lu Chen. Fortunately, he was just mentally exhausted, so he could just rest more. But the rest of the game couldn't go on, which meant he could only stop here. Soon it was Luo Yi's turn, and her opponent was a boy with fire powers. Judging from the momentum, the two are almost the same. Please invite Luo Yi and Xiao Yan to come on stage. When Xiao Yan faced Luo Yi, he didn't look down on him just because he was a girl. Any opponent who could get to the back was not talented. As soon as the game started, Xiao Yan went all out. In an instant, the stage was filled with flames, and the scene received warm cheers from the audience. This is called fighting. Zhang Baichuan's scene just now was simply boring. They came to see the visual feast, not to watch Zhang Baichuan show off. Facing Xiao Yan's offensive, Luo Yi was now covered with a layer of light blue armor, blocking out the flames in the field. A spiritual dagger began to condense in his hand, and he pounced on Xiao Yan. When Xiao Yan saw Luo Yi's offensive, he didn't dare to push it too hard, and hurriedly condensed the spiritual armor and the flame ball in his hand. The direct collision of spiritual weapons is silent, but the two people feel it differently. At this moment, it was like two weapons colliding directly, making them feel the same. Luo Yi also felt the strength of the opponent's spiritual power at this moment. If he wanted to defeat his opponent, he could only win through speed. Faced with the constant erosion of the flames, her spiritual armor kept consuming her spiritual power. Luo Yi changed her offensive and began to attack Xiao Yan's various weaknesses. Zhang Baichuan analyzed it for her and found that the opponent's fire element was domineering, but his flexibility was not good. As Luo Yi kept attacking his back, Xiao Yan consumed a lot of energy. The wind's spiritual power was too powerful to penetrate his spiritual armor. At this time, he had to rely on explosive martial arts to win. Fire sets a prairie fire. Wind god legs. Luo Yi also thought about Xiao Yan's thoughts. When it comes to competition, she is fearless against people with the same level of spiritual power. As for the pervert Zhang Baichuan, he only relied on his high spiritual power and perverted skills. The collision between the two martial arts caused Xiao Yan to be knocked back several meters. His arms could untwist his thighs, and the moment his spiritual power came into contact, he could clearly feel that his fire element was suppressed. Feeling the consumption of spiritual power in his body, Xiao Yan was ready to admit defeat. He didn't have much chance of winning if he continued to fight. He might as well look for opportunities in the loser group. I surrender. As soon as these words came out, everyone was shocked. It's only been a few minutes and you can't do it anymore. Why, you can't make a move when you see the other person as a girl. Hearing Xiao Yan admit defeat, Luo Yi was relieved. It was not easy for her to win against Xiao Yan. Maybe the opponent wanted to save spiritual power and advance through the loser group. Zhang Baichuan also agreed with Xiao Yan's approach. Since his attributes were suppressed, he might as well find other breakthroughs. Many people in the live broadcast room were complaining. Isn't this a fake match? After such a strong start, he surrendered within a few minutes. According to the rational analysis of people with high realms, the two of them are at about the same realm, and their supernatural attributes are suppressed, so it is a wise choice to admit defeat. But the audience only cares about whether it is enjoyable or not. The competition between the two of them is over, and they are sitting together watching the rest of the competition. Luo Yi also has some understanding of the strength of these players, and there are two people who can pose a threat to her. One has a water-based power, and the other has an earth-based power. Both of them seem to have higher spiritual power than her, and she doesn't have much advantage in terms of power attributes. Later, I saw Xiao Yan continue to play. Facing the opponent at this moment, he played a lot more relaxedly, and the audience praised him the most. Not surprisingly, he won the top 8 spots. As soon as the game was over, reporters came over again. When it comes to interviews, Zhang Baichuan and the two are lucky stars for reporters. The promotion and salary increase all depended on the couple. Zhang Baichuan, what do you think of your opponent in this competition, Lu Chen? His mental power is pretty good. This game helped me a little. I hope we can communicate more in the future. In terms of the use of mental power, Zhang Baichuan has indeed gained something. I didn't expect that you also have spiritual talent. How do you usually practice? How long has it been since he awakened? Both martial arts and martial arts have reached the general level. This is what everyone is paying attention to. I haven't practiced much either. As for spiritual power, it's just a basic method to obtain it, as well as the 6th level crystal stone given by Luo Yi's father. I wipe it. This shocked a lot of people. Are you too Versailles? What do you mean by not practicing enough? Also, you, a general, use 6th level crystal stones to practice. Do you have a mine at home? The reporters were also shocked, not to mention the audience in the live broadcast room. The audience in the live broadcast room is extremely sour at this moment. What kind of father-in-law can give a 6th order crystal stone? I want a girlfriend like this too. Do you have any opponents in the quarterfinals that you should pay attention to? Now a top 8 player. Zhang Baichuan shook his head. That's it. Hearing Zhang Baichuan's words, he also shook his head. The audience was all happy. Come on, the talker is here again, that's it, right? Classmate Luo Yi, have Zhang Baichuan always been so confident? Luo Yi thought for a while and nodded. He is very confident in everything he does. At least he has never let me down. The reporter nodded. This talkative king has always been so arrogant. Then is there anyone he's afraid of? Yes, he is afraid of his mother and my father. Lu Yulan, who was watching the live broadcast at home, laughed when she saw what Lu Yulan said. It's not that outrageous, her son just respects her. Why is he afraid of your dad? He was afraid that my dad would break his legs. Thinking of this, Luo Yi also laughed. She still remembered Zhang Baichuan's cowardly look. May I ask what state your father is in? My father is a martial artist. As soon as these words came out, the reporters were stunned. Wu Zong, there is a combat power ceiling. The live broadcast room also exploded. Zhang Baichuan could find such a good-looking girlfriend. Even if his father-in-law was of a high level, he even gave her a 6th-level crystal stone. He was so envious that his nose was dripping with envy. Another day has passed, and today the top 8 have advanced to the semifinals. The competition is more intense, the audience is packed with people, and the cheers can be heard throughout the Kyoto Stadium. 8 contestants appeared on the stage at the same time, and the live broadcast room was also opened at this time, which instantly attracted a large number of people. As the host's words fell, several people began to draw lots. Zhang Baichuan drew the water power, and Luo Yi drew Xiao Yan again. This time a tough battle was inevitable. Zhang Baichuan knew something about this water superpower, his name was Hu Miao. At the level of a military commander, his spiritual power is a little higher than Luo Yi's. The water-type martial arts ability is more offensive and defensive, which is obviously suppressive to Luo Yi, but to Zhang Baichuan, it is not much of a threat. As soon as the lottery is over, everyone will start preparing to enter the competition. This time Zhang Baichuan was the first to play, which brought a lot of enthusiasm to today's game. People in the live broadcast room started to post comments, indicating that this talkative king was about to take the stage, and it would soon be known whether he was strong or not. Zhang Baichuan and Hu Miao were invited to come on stage. Zhang Baichuan walked up with a relaxed expression. On the other hand, Hu Miao was a little stressed. The opponent's aura was obviously stronger than his. It seemed that this game could not go better. Game start. As soon as the referee spoke, Hu Miao gathered 3 water dragons around him. This scene attracted enthusiastic shouts from the audience. This was a unique move. Zhang Baichuan also noticed that Hu Miao's martial arts skills are not simple. Thinking of this moment, thunder began to condense in his hands. Suddenly there was thunder and lightning on the stage, and the several-meter-long electric arc in Zhang Baichuan's hand sent the audience into madness. Lu Yulan and Zhang Weiru, who were watching the game at home, also saw that Zhang Baichuan's strength had reached such a level, and their hearts were full of surprises. Son, come on, Lu Yulan shouted out loud at home, which infected Zhang Weiru. The visual impact brought by water and fire abilities is far from comparable to that of thunder and lightning. The live broadcast room was also shocked by Zhang Baichuan's thunder and lightning. There is something good about this talkative king. Hu Miao took the lead in launching the attack. Pure water cannot conduct electricity, so he was not at an absolute disadvantage. The moment the two of them fought, a lot of water mist appeared in the scene. Although the water system cannot conduct electricity, the heat emitted by the lightning instantly evaporated it, and the scene was immediately covered by thick fog. Not only the audience in the audience, but also the people in the live broadcast room were confused by this scene. We can't even see the picture, so what the hell are we supposed to see? As the two fought, Hu Miao also felt the pressure brought by Zhang Baichuan's thunder and lightning. The 3 water dragons melted obviously, and now he merged the 3 water dragons into one. The dragon spits beads. The huge water dragon spit out a huge water ball and threw it at Zhang Baichuan. Zhang Baichuan didn't even think about avoiding it. Thunder in the palm. As soon as the two people's moves collided, the water ball melted instantly, and the remaining thunder and lightning flashed towards Hu Miao. Zitza. But Hu Miao obviously did not receive much damage. Zhang Baichuan also noticed that this guy actually wore lightning-resistant inner armor. Good guy. Zhang Baichuan said that the other party was really a talent, and he actually had such an operation. At this time, Hu Miao felt that thunder and lightning could not bring much harm to him, and his heart was no longer so anxious. He would beat this talkative king today. Seeing Hu Miao's proud little expression, Zhang Baichuan was also amused. Let me see how much power your inner armor can withstand. Lightning Thunder Fist. In an instant, thunder and lightning surged within 10 meters around Zhang Baichuan, and dozens of arcs as wide as 2 fingers filled the surrounding area. The water mist dissipated, and this scene made the audience and the people in the live broadcast room swallow their saliva. Is this the strength of the king of talkers? Hu Miao was also stunned by Zhang Baichuan's skills. How unreasonable. Zhang Baichuan took the lead this time, and quickly attacked Hu Miao with the Lightning Thunder Fist. At this time, Hu Miao couldn't stop shouting in her heart, "Don't come over." Hu Miao also gathered the defensive posture of his skills, and the water dragons began to hover around him, preparing to withstand the blow. As Zhang Baichuan attacked with his lightning fist, the water dragon around Hu Miao quickly melted, and even the water mist was evaporated. Danger. Hu Miao also felt the terror of Zhang Baichuan at this time. He used all his spiritual power to gather into spiritual armor, and could only withstand the blow. As soon as Zhang Baichuan's fist came into contact with Hu Miao, his spiritual armor was melted instantly. Hu Miao felt death approaching. Buzz. Just when Zhang Baichuan's fist was about to approach Hu Miao's body, a protective shield appeared around Hu Miao. When his fist came into contact with the protective cover, Zhang Baichuan felt the master's aura. Someone took action. Zhang Baichuan was bounced a few meters away by the protective cover and looked at the surrounding commentaries with a face on his face. The game is over, Zhang Baichuan wins. Seeing Zhang Baichuan's skeptical expression, the commentators in the audience stood up. Your moves are too powerful. I feel that your opponent's life will be in danger if he receives your punch. They are all my talents in Daxia, and we cannot afford this unexpected loss. Zhang Baichuan thought thoughtfully. If he really wanted to kill the other party, he would have another enemy. The two of them had nothing to do, so why bother? Zhang Baichuan nodded towards the Grand Master and looked at Hu Miao. At this moment, Hu Miao collapsed directly on the ground, with sweat on his head covering his entire face. He had not yet calmed down from the power of death just now. The audience and the people in the live broadcast room were also stunned by this scene. Just now, a master took action. This talkative king was so outrageous. He almost beat Hu Miao to death with 3 moves. As the medical staff came on stage, the cheers from the audience became more intense, and they recognized Zhang Baichuan's strength. Although this guy is very pretentious, he has this strength. Are you okay? Seeing Zhang Baichuan step down, Luo Yi surrounded him. Just now, the Grand Master took action, and Zhang Baichuan was bounced away. It's okay, it's just defense, no attack ability. You will be on the field later, don't fight hard and compete with him. Zhang Baichuan would definitely do no harm to the Grandmaster's protective shield. He was a little worried about Luo Yi's next game. Who knew what Xiao Yan had up his sleeve? Yeah, I understand. If you can't beat me, I will surrender. Zhang Baichuan rubbed Luo Yi's hair and agreed with her decision. Please invite Luo Yi and Xiao Yan to come on stage. With the referee's order, the fight begins. Luo Yi followed Zhang Baichuan's suggestion and began to rely on speed to attack Xiao Yan. Once Xiao Yan exploded with martial arts, he would mainly dodge. Flames burst out on the stage, and spectators standing close could feel the temperature rising. Luo Yi on the field was also surrounded by strong winds. The flames could not get close to her, but her vision was affected to a certain extent. At this moment, Luo Yi closed her eyes tightly, relying on her mental power to detect the situation of the scene, and quickly launched an attack on the opponent. The crowd in the live broadcast room was watching from a god's perspective. In the previous game, the audience complained about visual obstruction. The game officials had already used drones to film. They saw that Luo Yi actually closed her eyes, and they didn't know what happened. The barrage has been surrounding Luo Yi and started to comment. Is this self-destruction or some other reason? Some people are knowledgeable and say that Luo Yi also has a very high level of mental power and has achieved telepathy. Xiao Yan's vision was also hindered, but he controlled the flames, and he also sensed Luo Yi's actions. If it continued like this, he would not have an advantage at all. After resisting Luo Yi's attack, the flames quickly shrank, and a bird image of more than 3 meters high gathered around him. The aura began to rise, and the temperature increased again. Luo Yi's eyes were also a little solemn. Xiao Yan had revealed his trump card. Thinking of what Zhang Baichuan said, Luo Yi's face showed a hint of determination. In terms of skills, she may not be as powerful as Xiao Yan, but she is also a vegetarian. At this moment, Luo Yi's momentum began to surge, and the victory or defeat depended on this move. The scene was stormy, and a faint figure appeared around her. At this moment, the figure seemed to have opened his eyes and glared at the opponent in front of him. Fire flames burn the sky. Wind god is angry. The two breaths collided together instantly, and the leaked energy made the barrier on the field creak. Both of them were holding their breath at this moment and began to compete with each other in spiritual power. Zhang Baichuan in the audience shook his head. Why is this girl doing so hard? Even if I win, it probably won't be easy. Zhang Weiru and Lu Yulan also saw this scene and were very worried. They clasped their hands together and prayed for Luo Yi, hoping that she would not be injured. Both of them roared. In the competition between spiritual powers, Luo Yi had the advantage in attributes, but Xiao Yan's skills were stronger than Luo Yi's. The two of them exhausted their spiritual energy and were knocked away by the shock wave. They looked at each other with embarrassed expressions, trying to see who had the stronger spirit and will at this moment. Luo Yi braced herself up and ran towards Xiao Yan again. Xiao Yan saw Luo Yi rushing up with a wry smile on his face. I surrender. This is the second time he has said this. If you lose, you lose. If attributes are not dominant, if you are not an opponent now, you will not be an opponent in the future. Hearing Xiao Yan admit defeat, Luo Yi also breathed a sigh of relief, and she was at the end of her fight. Luo Yi wins. The audience in the audience began to cheer enthusiastically. The battle between the two was quite exciting and they recognized them very much. Today's game is over, and the top 4 are born. People in P City began to cheer. 2 of the top 4 in the country were their own. Zhang Weiru and Lu Yulan also relaxed a little, but they didn't know if Luo Yi was injured. But thinking that Zhang Baichuan was by his side made him feel relieved. Looking at Luo Yi approaching, Zhang Baichuan gave her a hug. Silly girl, why are you working so hard? I want to follow in your footsteps. Yeah, I'll wait for you in front. At this moment, reporters gathered around again. The strength of these two couples is amazing. Of course, they just liked Zhang Baichuan and the two talking dirty words. Congratulations to both of you for winning the competition. Luo Yi, do you have confidence in the following competitions? What about the opponents behind? Luo Yi thought for a while. As long as I don't meet Zhang Baichuan, I will definitely fight for it. Is this a commercial blow-off? Or are they both showing off together? Oh, is Zhang Baichuan really that powerful in your eyes? I think you are also very powerful. I am stronger than ordinary people, but it is nothing compared to him. Luo Yi saw the scene where Zhang Baichuan electrocuted 5 mad cow beasts with one blow. Well, he is very powerful. He told me when he came to the competition that no opponent could defeat him in 3 moves. It started again, the dirty talk started again. Just as the reporter was about to say something, Luo Yi spoke again. I also asked him why at that time, and he said he was afraid of killing someone with 1 move, so he used 3 moves to see if the other person could resist the beating. After saying that, Luo Yi laughed. But the audience in the live broadcast room was shocked by this sentence. Is this talkative king really so awesome? The reporter was also shocked. It seems that Zhang Baichuan did not have more than 3 moves in the game. The only time he made his 3rd move was blocked by the Grandmaster, which showed that Zhang Baichuan's strength was really not at this level. Zhang Baichuan, are you confident that you will win the championship in the next competition? Since I'm here, I must be here for the first place. I just don't know what rewards the champion will get. Zhang Baichuan only saw the rules of the competition, and there was no official explanation of the specific rewards. It felt like an impromptu competition. I heard that the winner of this competition has multiple options, including 6th-level crystals and techniques. The reporter is better informed and has heard some rumors. Hearing what the reporter said, Zhang Baichuan immediately became energetic. The champion must be me. Reporters and the audience in the live broadcast room were already used to his words. Compared with the 3 measures to solve the problem, his words this time were low-key enough. Zhang Baichuan ended the interview early and took Luo Yi to his residence to rest. Luo Yi had consumed too much spiritual power and had to hurry up to recover. Zhang Baichuan also had some understanding of the other 2 players in the semifinals. There was no threat to him, but he was evenly matched against Luo Yi. The next day soon came, and Luo Yi's spiritual power did not recover very well. Even after consuming a 5th-level crystal, it could not be replenished. Perhaps it was a deliberate move by the officials, but the opponent Zhang Baichuan drew turned out to be Luo Yi, which surprised him. Luo Yi also laughed. It was good to reach the semifinals. Her man would definitely win the first place anyway. The audience also talked a lot. Can these 2 couples fight? Not surprisingly, Luo Yi immediately admitted defeat. If the 2 were in the finals, Zhang Baichuan might give it to Luo Yi, but there would still be opponents behind him. The 2 people behind also fought fiercely. One of them was actually a dual power user, hiding a variant of the flame power, and boiling lava erupted on the field. His opponent was the earth element user, and he was feeling very uncomfortable being suppressed by him at the moment. There was some surprise in Zhang Baichuan's eyes. In the final battle, this situation would actually happen. Although the opponent's abilities were a bit strange, Zhang Baichuan still had great confidence in himself. Today's game ended quickly, but the internet went viral. There were dual-type superpowers. Look, the talker is still arrogant this time. Luo Yi was also a little worried. She was really not sure about that person. Her attributes were no longer restrained by the superpowers mutated by the blending of earth and fire. But seeing Zhang Baichuan's calm expression, Luo Yi was still full of confidence in him. The finals came soon. Many leaders came to the competition, and it was said that the rewards were ready. Before the game, a leader came on stage and gave a speech for a long time, and also talked about the rewards after the game. The champion will receive 3 optional rewards, the top 4 will receive 2, and the top 8 will receive 1. As for the subsequent rankings, there are fixed rewards. Zhang Baichuan was very satisfied. These self-selected rewards were similar to what the reporter said. There are 6th-level crystals, advanced techniques, spiritual mystics, and weapon elixirs. He lacks nothing but crystal stones and elixirs. After dawdling for more than an hour, the finals began. Zhang Baichuan and Yi Xingchen are invited to come on stage. The 2 came to the ring together and looked at each other. Regarding Zhang Baichuan, Yi Xingchen had a hint of fear in his eyes. The last battle between him and Hu Miao actually caused the Grandmaster to take action. Before going on stage, he swallowed a pill and forcibly raised his spiritual power to the peak of a military commander. With the characteristics of dual system abilities, he is confident of winning this championship. Game start. Yi Xingchen immediately exploded with the momentum of a peak military commander. A large amount of spiritual magma erupted from the field, and he was ready to launch an attack on Zhang Baichuan. Seeing the momentum on the other side, Zhang Baichuan seemed to have guessed something. The lightning thunder fist was running at full speed, heading towards Yi Xingchen. At the moment of the collision, the violent thunder and lightning directly shattered the spiritual armor possessed by Yi Xingchen. Yi Xingchen felt a sense of paralysis covering his whole body. If he hadn't worn lightning protection armor, he would have been severely injured this time. So strong. Seeing the effect of this blow, Zhang Baichuan was also laughed out of anger, and even started to wear lightning protection armor. I'm beating you up. In an instant, the thunder in the palm of his hand was operating at full strength, hitting Yi Xingchen right in the chest. Yi Xingchen saw a little fear in his eyes when he saw the huge thunder ball in front of him, but he didn't intend to give up. In an instant, Yi Xingchen condensed a huge lava shield to resist Zhang Baichuan's attack. The moment the palm thunder was struck, the lava shield collapsed directly, and the impact force directly knocked Yi Xingchen away. His inner armor began to show damage, and the numbness from the thunder and lightning made him angrier. Yi Xingchen roared angrily, and the fiery aura quickly condensed on it, as if it was holding back some big move. Zhang Baichuan saw his actions in his eyes. It seemed like he had some magical power. This time, Zhang Baichuan did not dare to be careless at all and showed unprecedented seriousness. Yi Xingchen's momentum became more and more intense, and his hot breath had spread to the audience area below the stage. Zhang Baichuan immediately began to gather thunderous energy. No matter what the consequences were, the championship could not be lost. The stars perish. Thunder. In an instant, a strong explosion broke out on the stage. Zhang Baichuan hurriedly ran the blood-burning technique, and then transformed his spiritual power into armor to protect himself. When he saw Yi Xingchen opposite, he almost laughed angrily. He was protected by the Grandmaster. The key was that he was not protected by the Grandmaster. If he hadn't been strong enough, he would have been seriously injured. The referee did not announce the result at this time. Zhang Baichuan couldn't stand this tone and directly fired a palm thunder at Yi Xingchen. With the Wuhou-level palm thunder, even though the Grandmaster was protecting him, Zhang Baichuan directly blasted Yi Xingchen out of the ring, and the shield the Grandmaster gave him instantly shattered. Yi Xingchen was immediately burned to death and his mouth was covered with blood. A Grandmaster flew over and hugged him tightly. After feeding him a pill, he looked like Zhang Baichuan with a look of hatred in his eyes. Zhang Baichuan was not afraid of the Grandmaster's hostility and responded directly. The commentators in the audience also saw the truth behind this, but they were not familiar with Zhang Baichuan. There is no need to provoke the Yi family. Zhang Baichuan wins. Regarding the result, others will not protect the Yi family, and whoever deserves to win will win. Zhang Baichuan wasn't excited at all at this moment. He didn't have the ability to solve such a thing now. What the Yi family did is not authentic. They are playing this kind of thing under our noses. You can ask someone to beat it and don't make any mess for me. In the VIP viewing area, there were a few people who could see what was fishy just now. The leader, an old man, said to the person next to him. The people next to him responded quickly and slowly exited the viewing area. Let's go. The competition is over. Let them come to the Hall of Glory to receive their rewards. This Zhang Baichuan is a genius and he has hope of reaching that point. The people next to him responded one after another, showing great respect for the old man in front of them. At the end of the game, Luo Yi rushed directly to the ring to check if Zhang Baichuan was injured. The explosion just now frightened her. It's okay, I'm just a little angry. Why do you dare to glare at me for cheating? I might overturn your ancestral grave. At this time, someone began to ask them to collect the rewards. Hearing this, Zhang Baichuan felt much better. The place where he received the award was the Hall of Glory near the head of State Hall in the imperial capital. Zhang Baichuan was also shocked. Is the standard of this competition so high? He hasn't shown much performance yet. Arriving at the Hall of Glory at this moment, a group of people entered and saw someone waiting there. First, he issued certificates to everyone, and then took them to the second floor to select prizes. Zhang Baichuan searched for a long time and saw a military commander-level elixir called Yuan Dan. It can speed up the melting of liquid spiritual power. Although it can only be taken once, Zhang Baichuan took it directly. The last two chose 6th-order crystal stones, which confused the staff. Most people come in here looking for skills. Forget about Yuan Dan. What is the operation of taking 2 6th-order crystal stones? Luo Yi chose the wind method and the martial arts with a smile on his face, obviously very satisfied. Classmate Zhang Baichuan, the leader is looking for you. Come with me. A staff member came to Zhang Baichuan and said softly. Zhang Baichuan was also a little surprised that someone actually looked for him. Go meet it. When Zhang Baichuan followed the staff to a room, he saw a smiling old man. Come in and sit. The tone is very light, but it gives people a feeling that cannot be refused. Good leader. Zhang Baichuan came to the old man, nodded and said hello. The old man nodded, very satisfied with Zhang Baichuan. I also saw today's game, and my performance was very good. I apologize to some people who are trying to be clever. Zhang Baichuan was also a little surprised when he heard the old man's words. This old man actually complained to him. For everything you have done in Peace City, I would like to express my gratitude to you on behalf of the people of Daxia. I hope you will continue to work hard. The crisis in Daxia still needs to be solved by young people like you. At this moment, Zhang Baichuan also knew that the identity of this old man was not simple. He knew his own affairs very well, and he could actually thank himself on behalf of the people of Daxia. For the inconvenience caused to you this time, I will personally give you 2 6th-order crystal stones. I hope you will not bear grudges against these people. After all, they have also made certain contributions to Daxia. Zhang Baichuan wanted to say something else, but the staff brought 2 6th-order crystal stones over, and the old man left directly. Zhang Baichuan was a little confused by everything that happened. It was all the old man talking, but he felt happy after harvesting 2 more 6th-order crystal stones. As soon as Zhang Baichuan returned to their residence, they couldn't wait to take out the Huayuan Dan and the 6th-level crystal stone. The rapid practice these days made him feel very uncomfortable. Luo Yi also took out the skills and started practicing. This time with better skills, her strength will become much stronger. After Zhang Baichuan swallowed the Huayuan pill, he felt that the speed of absorbing the 6th-order crystal stone was several times faster. The effect of the Huayuan pill can only last for 3 hours, so he must practice quickly now. At this moment, there are 81 drops of liquid spiritual power in his pseudo-dantian. At this rate, Marquis Wu has a good chance today. Soon, 2 hours later, the liquid spiritual power in Zhang Baichuan's body had reached 99 drops. As long as the last drop condensed, the dantian would turn into a liquid spiritual power dantian. Boom! As soon as the last drop of liquid spiritual power was condensed, Zhang Baichuan felt a violent reaction in his body. The dantian began to shrink, then began to swell, and then calmed down again. The Wahou realm is complete. At this moment, Zhang Baichuan could feel the changes in his body. Looking at the scene outside the window, he was confident that he could use his martial arts skills to reach 50 meters. In other words, the thunder and lightning in his hand at this moment can be freely controlled within 50 meters. Don't be like before, stupidly leaning forward to release. Seeing that Luo Yi was still practicing, Zhang Baichuan resisted his inner impulse and did not try the skills. But you can look at the system panel. Host: Zhang Baichuan. Age: 18. Superpower: Talent level Thunder System. Realm: Wahou, Shuzhong. Spiritual power value: 2015. Mental strength: 1255. Talent skills and techniques: Palm Thunder, Divine Consciousness, current range 320 meters. Kung Fu: Lightning Thunder Fist, Supreme Creation Heart Sutra Part 1. Martial skills: Lightning Thunder Fist, Blood Burning Technique, Thunder Flash. Spell: Object Control, Minor Supernatural Power, Thunderbolt. The skill has not changed much, the spiritual power value and spiritual power have increased, but Zhang Baichuan feels extremely powerful at this time. Zhang Hongyan, see if I beat the shit out of you next time we meet. Chapter 51. Not long after, Luo Yi also opened her eyes from the cultivation state, with some excitement in her eyes. It seemed that the skills rewarded in this competition had brought her a great improvement. Come on, it's still early, let's go out for a walk. Now that the competition is over, let's take a walk around Kyoto while it's still early before dark. Luo Yi readily agreed, as there was no time to go shopping for a few days during the competition. Now that it's summer vacation again, it's time to relax. At this time, the two of them were wandering around the snack street. Zhang Baichuan was eating and carrying food in his hands, while Luo Yi was leading the way and choosing. Brother Baichuan. Zhang Baichuan, who was eating, was startled when he heard someone calling him. When he turned around, he saw that it was Duoduo whom he met on the train. At this moment, Duoduo ran over, followed by a young couple. Seeing Duoduo running over, the man was a little worried. It's Duoduo. Are these your parents? Zhang Baichuan hugged Duoduo. This move made the man's eyes flash with dissatisfaction, but then he greeted Zhang Baichuan with a smile on his face. I am Duoduo's father, my name is Zhao Wuji. This is my wife Sun Wei. Seeing Zhao Wuji extend his hand enthusiastically, Zhang Baichuan quickly shook his hand, and then introduced the two of them. You are the champion of this freshman competition. And Luo Yi, who is fourth, is so talented and beautiful. Upon hearing Zhang Baichuan's introduction, Zhao Wuji immediately thought of the identities of the two people. Their town security bureau had arranged a lot of people to maintain order during this competition. For Zhang Baichuan and the other two, Zhao Wuji still admired them very much. At such a young age, they had the combat power of Wahou, and he was already in his early 30s this year, and he was still Wahou. After chatting for a while, we no longer wanted to disturb each other. Add a chat method. If you have any troubles in the capital, you can contact me. Zhang Baichuan was also very happy. It was very necessary to have a local official's phone number. When Zhang Baichuan walked away, Zhao Wuji quickly asked Duoduo how he knew them. Brother Baichuan performed magic tricks for me on the train and gave me some delicious food. Only then did Zhao Wuji remember that when his mother came over, she said that thanks to the two young people, otherwise she wouldn't know how to let Duoduo spend the time on the train. Zhang Baichuan and the two ate a lot of delicious food at the snack street, and then went for a walk in a nearby park. The sun was about to set. Looking at the sunset on the horizon, the two of them sat on chairs and hugged each other. The scene felt extremely warm. The host has not accepted the task for a long time, and the system has started to send mandatory tasks. An alien space is about to arrive in Rose Park, please host to evacuate the people in time. Quote. Zhang Baichuan was also frightened by the system. Isn't Rose Park where they are? Zhang Baichuan stood up in shock, startling Luo Yi. What's wrong? I sensed danger and it's too late to explain now. Zhang Baichuan ran directly to the center of the park. Luo Yi followed him without knowing why. Zhang Baichuan called Zhao Wuji while running, telling him that there might be an alien space coming to Rose Park, but hung up the phone without waiting for the other party's response. Yi, take your phone and go away. If anything unusual happens, call Zhao Wuji as soon as possible. Zhang Baichuan immediately began to condense the thunder and lightning on his body. Thunder and lightning flashed within 20 meters around him, attracting the attention of many people. Then he used his spiritual energy and shouted loudly to the surroundings. Everyone, get out of here quickly. It is detected that an alien space is coming here. Everyone, run away. The park was originally attracted by his supernatural powers. After hearing his words, some people ran out in a hurry, and some people didn't care about him at all. You said that an alien space has come, who do you think you are? Avertisement. Before Zhang Baichuan could speak for the second time, strong fluctuations began to erupt not far away from him, and then a powerful shock wave rose into the sky, and a 20-meter-high space gate appeared in front of him. The people in the park suddenly panicked, as an alien dimension really came here. A group of blood tiger beasts burst out of the space, and the scene suddenly became chaotic. Yi, contact Zhao Wuji. At this moment, Zhang Baichuan rushed directly to kill him. If the blood tiger beast was allowed to rush out of the park, who knows how many people would be killed. Zhang Baichuan held the thunder gun and directly blocked the entrance of the space door. At this time, there were blood tiger beasts rushing out from the space. Zhao Wuji, who was still shopping, originally thought it was a joke when he received a call from Zhang Baichuan, but he didn't expect another call. Brother Zhao, go and notify the town security bureau. An alien space has appeared in Rose Park, and blood tiger beasts are constantly breaking out of it. Zhao Wuji had no choice but to believe it at this time, and hurriedly asked Sun Wei to take care of Duoduo, and ran towards this side while making a phone call. By the time he rushed to Rose Park, the bodies of strange beasts had fallen on the ground in the park. Seeing Zhang Baichuan guarding the door and killing people continuously, his eyes were a little moved. Zhao Wuji also rushed forward at this moment, standing next to Zhang Baichuan and killing some fish that slipped through the net. Zhang Baichuan felt much more relaxed. He had to spend a lot of effort to solve the leaked problem. With Zhao Wuji's help, he immediately breathed a sigh of relief. Zhang Baichuan looked at the 20-meter-high space gate and was a little worried. The space gates that were about 10 meters high in P-City had strange beasts at the Wuzong realm leading the beast tide. This 20-meter-high one might be even more dangerous. At this time, a bloody wolf appeared directly at the door of the space, and then two more appeared. This scene made the two of them feel a little scared. The blood fiend wolf is a 5th-level alien beast, equivalent to the human Wahou realm. Although it is not as powerful as Mad Cowmon, it is much faster. This is just the beginning. There are Wahou-level strange beasts, but there will be no Grandmaster-level strange beasts later. Brother Zhao, when will the town security bureau arrive? Zhang Baichuan was also a little worried. If the two of them couldn't stop him, the people around him would suffer. It will take another 15 minutes at the fastest. We can only hold on now. I am notifying our director now and asking them to call more people. Luo Yi did not stop at this moment, staring at the blood tiger beasts that had slipped through the net. She could not defeat the blood evil wolves. 7 bloody wolves rushed out in an instant. Zhang Baichuan took advantage of Zhao Wuji's phone call and directly fired a thunderbolt from his palm at many strange beasts. I saw a palm-shaped thunderbolt more than 5 meters high blasting towards the alien beasts, and many alien beasts were directly burned into skewers. This scene frightened Zhao Wuji a little, and he was not sure that he could defeat these strange beasts with one martial skill. The director will arrive in 10 minutes, let's hold on. At this moment, the space door shook tremendously, and dozens of blood evil wolves rushed out, followed by a blood evil monkey. There really is a master-level beast. Brother Zhao, get out of the way. I'll do a group attack first. At this moment, the momentum of the blood demon monkey exploded in an instant, and several people felt unprecedented pressure. Yi, get out quickly. At this time, Zhang Baichuan directly used the burning blood art, and his momentum soared to the peak of Wahou. Although he was only one step away from being a master, he could still feel the difference. Thunder. In an instant, Zhang Baichuan used this small magical power directly on the group of alien beasts. Many blood evil wolves were killed instantly, while a layer of gang energy appeared on the surface of the blood evil monkey. Facing Zhang Baichuan's little magical power, the blood demon monkey's gang chi armor was also pierced, and the fur on its body was burnt, but it could be felt that it did not suffer much damage. The blood evil monkey roared instantly and flew towards Zhang Baichuan. At this time, Zhao Wuji couldn't watch Zhang Baichuan being beaten, so he used his spiritual power to rush towards the bloody monkey. In response to Zhao Wuji's offensive, the blood demon monkey directly punched Zhao Wuji away from the air. So fierce, why hasn't anyone come to escort you yet? The lightning thunder fist moved quickly, and the thunder flash began to dodge the blood demon monkey's attack. But the Grandmaster's reaction was beyond his imagination. The shock wave across Zhang Baichuan gave him the urge to vomit blood. But at this moment, he could only delay. After Zhao Wuji got up, he went to harass the blood demon monkey, but was soon kicked out again, with blood already flowing from the corner of his mouth. After Zhao Wuji's interference, Zhang Baichuan also felt that the cooldown time of the small magical power was up. Taking advantage of the gap between the blood demon monkey's attacks, he gave it another electrotherapy treatment. Zitsa. At this moment, the blood demon monkey's body was burnt, and a strong stench emerged from the scene. The blood evil monkey hated Zhang Baichuan with all his heart, and flew towards Zhang Baichuan with blood-red eyes. At this moment, a ray of golden light hit the blood demon monkey. The blood demon monkey's hair exploded. It couldn't dodge in time and was directly pierced through the abdomen. The blood demon monkey suddenly let out a howl and struggled on the ground. What a great opportunity! Zhang Baichuan immediately became jealous. These are all points. While this bloody monkey is still alive, hurry up and hit the target. Zhang Baichuan made a lightning flash, and the thunder gun condensed the lightning fist, and shot it at the head of the bloody monkey. He is indeed the new champion. To be able to injure the blood demon monkey to this extent is worthy of his reputation as a genius. The visitor was a 40-year-old middle-aged man. Seeing that the bloody monkey's body was badly burned, he couldn't help but praise Zhang Baichuan. Director, no strange beasts have left the park so far. After Zhao Wuji got up from the ground, he reported the situation to the middle-aged man. At this time, he had found his backbone. Well, you three did a good job this time. When this matter settles down, I will ask for credit for you. Now is not the time to talk about this. Who knows if there will be any beasts above the master level later. He is also waiting for other masters to come over. At this time, someone from the town security bureau also ran over. Zhao Wuji was seriously injured and was sent directly to the hospital. Zhang Baichuan had no intention of leaving at this time. He wanted to earn some points with the large army. Yi, you go back to your residence first. I have some things to do here. Zhang Baichuan wanted Luo Yi to go back first. If the master-level beast appeared later, she would not have the strength to resist. Luo Yi originally wanted to refuse, but Zhang Baichuan persuaded her and finally let her go back. Not long after Luo Yi left, another strange beast appeared at the space gate. A giant spider 8 meters tall appeared in front of him. What was strange was that above the body was a human-shaped body, with eyes like flies and many red crystals. This is a phantom spider. Not only does he have the strength of Wuzong, but his mental attack has a certain level. At this time, Duanmin, who was the director of the Kyoto Town Security Bureau, was also worried that the secret space might not be easy to handle this time. The phantom spider immediately let out a long roar and swept towards everyone with a mental shock. Zhang Baichuan felt he could accept it, but many people from the Town Security Bureau were so shocked that they vomited blood, and some even fainted. Before the phantom spider was over, he directly threw it with a thunderous force. At the same time, Duanmin also swept away with a huge golden light flying sword. The thunder and lightning took effect first, directly breaking the phantom spider's gangchi armor, paralyzing it instantly. When it wanted to resist, it was directly hit by Duanmin's subsequent skills. The body of the phantom spider was directly penetrated, and the aura on his body dropped instantly. Zhang Baichuan's eyes turned red instantly, and the points came. As soon as the palm thunder was fired, the phantom spider was electrocuted into black charcoal, and the points were obtained. Duanmin was also shocked by the result of the two men's joint efforts. Was it solved so quickly? This is a bit fantasy. It has never been so easy before. He didn't care at all about Zhang Baichuan's killing, he just thought that the other party was being cautious and it was a good habit. At this moment, Zhang Baichuan also sensed that several people were flying towards this side. They were experts from Kyoto. Originally, Zhang Baichuan wanted to continue to grab some points, but the side effects of the blood-burning technique came on, and the soreness all over his body made him lose any desire to fight. After several experts came over, Duanmin also explained some situations to them, and also specially introduced Zhang Baichuan to everyone. At this time, Zhang Baichuan also noticed that one of them was the person who had a problem with him during the game. This made him give up the idea of continuing to follow. This old guy would probably stumble him. After Zhang Baichuan accepted the compliments from these big guys, he exited the park directly. It was better to return to his residence early, otherwise Luo Yi might be worried. The Town Security Bureau was very considerate. Now that they couldn't get a taxi, they sent him directly back to the reception center. Luo Yi also breathed a sigh of relief after seeing Zhang Baichuan back. She was almost dying of anxiety. Zhang Baichuan quickly comforted him for a while. Congratulations to the host for completing the mission. The reward points are 100. The host has a total of 12,800 points for killing the beast this time. I have more than 10,000 points, but I can't afford anything. The plan for now is to recover quickly and see if he can participate in the otherworldly space pursuit tomorrow. Zhang Baichuan directly took out the 6th order crystal stone and started to recover. The next morning, Zhang Baichuan called Zhao Wuji after he returned to his best condition. First, he asked about his injury, and then prepared to inquire about the situation in the other world. After Zhao Wuji made some inquiries, he directly called him back and asked Zhang Baichuan to contact their director. When Zhang Baichuan called Duanmin, he began to ask if he could participate in the otherworldly space pursuit. The other party agreed after thinking for a while. Originally Zhang Baichuan planned not to take Luo Yi with him, but Luo Yi was determined to go this time. She also wanted to test herself, so Zhang Baichuan had no choice but to agree. When Zhang Baichuan and the two arrived at Rose Park, Duanmin was there and began to gather people to set off to another world. This time the official intention is to push the alien space gate 100 miles inside, slaughter all the alien beasts within 100 miles, and then build a protection base at the entrance to the space. Zhang Baichuan is not going to be too lazy this time. With Luo Yi by his side, he must always pay attention to this girl's safety. He can get as many points as he can, as long as she is fine. This time, 20,000 people were gathered. As the teams were divided, there were 100 people in a small team, with Marquis Wu as the captain, and every 10 teams in a region, led by a grandmaster. Regarding Zhang Baichuan's concern about whether he would be assigned to the old man with a grudge, Duanmin obviously saw his dilemma and said that the other party did not dare to do anything to you. He happened to be with the leader last time and knew something about this matter. Duanmin also specifically asked the captain of Zhang Baichuan's team to take more care of Zhang Baichuan and the two. As the team entered the alien space in an orderly manner, Zhang Baichuan also entered it. As soon as he entered, he felt obvious discomfort, and there was a gravity that seemed to be suppressing them. The captain named Wang Gang explained the situation to them. The larger the alien space, the greater the gravity, and the stronger the alien beasts inside. Wang Gang explained the discipline and rules of the team again, mainly for Zhang Baichuan and the two people. As outsiders who came in, they were two young men, and they were a burden to them. As everyone started to set off, the team began to face more and more strange beasts, first the mad dog beast, and then the blood tiger beast, and everyone went crazy killing them. Zhang Baichuan was the most active. This seemingly lifeless attack made Wang Gang feel numb. Will this guy run out of spiritual power and need their protection later? Luo Yi also saw Zhang Baichuan's reckless behavior. She was already used to Zhang Baichuan's flirtatious behavior. This guy was more active in killing strange beasts than eating. This also stimulated her. No one wants to be a burden, right? At this moment, Luo Yi began to try the newly learned exercises and martial arts, and also joined the killing feast. His whole body was like a hurricane, attacking among the strange beasts. The mad dog beasts were cut into pieces directly, and there was a thick smell in the air. Some are disgusting. Zhang Baichuan was observing her intently all the time. Regarding Luo Yi's performance, a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Not long after, all the nearby strange beasts were slaughtered. Now let's take a rest. Some people are responsible for collecting blood crystals. Seeing this, Zhang Baichuan immediately thought of the strange beast he killed yesterday, but there were a lot of 5th-level crystals that he had not taken. I wonder if Duanmin will express anything after this incident is over. Yi, don't be too reckless. There is still a battle ahead, so you have to save your spiritual energy. Zhang Baichuan took this time to let her recover. If she lost too much spiritual power, it would be difficult to run away if she encountered danger later. Yeah, I understand. Luo Yi felt a little embarrassed when she thought that she had gone crazy just now. But after her strength soared, it was really heartbreaking not to wave for a while. Her current strength was a bit stronger than before the competition. After resting for about 10 minutes, I continued to step inside. I saw more types of strange beasts, including all kinds of strange ones. The uglier they were, the more powerful they were. At this moment, the entire team began to be cautious. The strange beasts now all have the strength of military commanders. Although the beast group is not large, it is more dangerous than before. Form up. In groups of 5, move forward. Seeing the alien beasts attacking, Wang Gang made a plan instantly. Zhang Baichuan and Luo Yi were a little at a loss. They had never learned this before. Zhang Baichuan directly expressed to Wang Gang that the two of them were a team. Luo Yi rushed forward directly, with Zhang Baichuan assisting her. This would better allow Luo Yi to increase her actual combat experience. Luo Yi turned into a hurricane and passed by, and the beast was instantly cut with cuts and blood dripping from it. But it did not cause fatal damage to the alien beast, but made the alien beast even more violent. Looking at a few ugly guys, Zhang Baichuan threw them away with a thunderbolt, and the beasts turned into a pile of charcoal on the spot. Luo Yi looked at Zhang Baichuan in shock. Is it so casual? You're getting stronger again. I'm already a Marquis of Wu. Don't worry about killing this strange beast. I'll cover it for you. Luo Yi was very happy, but a trace of inferiority flashed in her eyes. Zhang Baichuan's strength grew too fast. She originally thought that the gap between the two was shrinking, but she didn't expect that it was getting bigger and bigger. As soon as he thought of this, Luo Yi rushed directly towards the strange beast in the distance and slashed hard at it. The alien beast didn't stop after falling to the ground. Stop, stop, stop. I've been chopped into pieces by you. Calm down, what's wrong? Zhang Baichuan couldn't stand it anymore. Why was this girl starting to go crazy? Luo Yi also came back to her senses at this moment, showing a somewhat embarrassed expression. Baichuan, I feel like I can't catch up with you. There was mist in Luo Yi's eyes, and she had the urge to cry. Why are you just thinking about these things? Zhang Baichuan was also confused by her. Silly girl, the stronger I am, the better I can protect you. As your man, of course, the stronger I am, the better. Luo Yi burst into tears instantly, hugged Zhang Baichuan, and began to cry in his arms. Zhang Baichuan also felt a bunch of strange beasts rushing over, and he fired a palm thunder to turn them into dregs. Okay, I'm still fighting now. You are the most important person to me. I must be practicing hard to protect you. Zhang Baichuan patted her back, and Luo Yi also reacted at this time. Why was she so pretentious all of a sudden? Luo Yi instantly felt like she was dead. What's wrong with me? Ah, how could I be so cruel? Zhang Baichuan also heard someone crying, but there was more than one person doing this. There were also people crying holding the body of the alien beast, which shocked Zhang Baichuan. Everyone line up. Wang Gang also noticed something was wrong and roared at everyone. Those people who were in unstable moods suddenly woke up with confusion in their eyes. This is so embarrassing. There are psychic beasts nearby, please stay focused and don't be fooled. Some senior soldiers have experienced it, but Zhang Baichuan and others, as well as the new recruits, don't know much about it. Hearing what Wang Gang said, Zhang Baichuan was a little curious. What kind of strange beast is it that can actually affect so many people? Although the damage is not great, it is extremely insulting. This strange beast can amplify people's inner emotions, and people with mental weakness may even have the urge to commit suicide. Everyone, please pay attention. This strange beast is within 100 meters. When Wang Gang said this, Zhang Baichuan closed his eyes and began to use his spiritual consciousness to carefully explore the area within 100 meters. Wherever the consciousness passes, all pretense seems to be in vain. Zhang Baichuan also saw the strange beast. Wasn't it a toad? At this moment, in a corner half a meter deep on the ground, a purple toad opened its eyes, and then quickly jumped out of the soil. The 3-meter-long body was directly exposed in front of everyone. Seeing the black liquid overflowing from the tumors on its body made people feel sick. Gu. As its mouth moved, a strong shock wave rushed directly towards Zhang Baichuan. Martial arts with spiritual power. There are people behind him. If he dodges, others may not be able to block him. Zhang Baichuan directly condensed the thunder in his palm and covered the surface with his mental power, directly blocking the opponent's attack. At the moment of contact, Zhang Baichuan felt a pain in his mind. I kill you, uncle. When have you ever suffered such a loss in the same realm? When he thought of this, Zhang Baichuan became furious. He immediately gave it a thunderbolt, and the thunder and lightning instantly covered the toad, and the scene immediately became boiling. A breeze blew by, and now only a burnt body of the ugly thing was left. This scene made Wang Gang unable to take his eyes away. Is this kid so fierce? Zhang Baichuan also has fears, and there are things at the same level that can scare him. It seems that it was still floating before. This spiritual level of magic is really something that should not be underestimated. Next time, we need to take a preemptive strike. Some veterans also looked at Zhang Baichuan with strong respect in their eyes. In the past, they had suffered heavy casualties when encountering spiritual beasts. Physical attacks can be blocked, but mental attacks cannot be stopped. The cost of making mental armor is too high, and it is impossible to equip everyone with them. When Zhang Baichuan came to the pile of toad corpses, the thunder gun immediately tore it into pieces, and a milky white crystal appeared in front of his eyes. Zhang Baichuan took the crystal in his hand and inspected it. What a good thing. It is actually somewhat similar to the 6th order crystal stone. Although the spiritual power value is not much, the spiritual power is higher. Zhang Baichuan immediately took back the object receiving ring. If he could look for more of this thing, it would be just around the corner for the spiritual type to break through to the realm of magic. Captain Wang, are there many toads in other worlds? After Zhang Baichuan came back, he asked Wang Gang to find out the news. This purple toad beast is rare. Usually once it appears, there won't be another one within a few miles. This thing is very dangerous, and we don't want to encounter it. When he talked about this, a trace of fear flashed in Wang Gang's eyes. It was obvious that he had had a tragic experience with strange beasts such as the purple toad beast. Zhang Baichuan was a little disappointed. There were so few of these things. It seems that his plan failed immediately. Then is there anyone selling the crystals in its body? Zhang Baichuan was a little unwilling to give up. He couldn't bear to part with such a good thing. The crystals of spiritual alien beasts will be snatched away as soon as they appear. Its value is no less than the 6th level crystals. Zhang Baichuan gave up immediately. He bought a hammer so expensive. Collect the blood crystals from the strange beasts on the ground, and the rest of the team will quickly recover their spiritual power. They had only traveled more than 50 miles, and there was still half the journey ahead. After resting for half an hour, everyone was ready to set off again. After killing a group of strange beasts, they had to choose a suitable place to spend the night. Ouch! Before they had gone far, they heard the howling of a pack of wolves. Wang Gang was also a little nervous. He didn't expect to encounter a pack of bloody wolves. Line up, ready to fight at any time. Everyone's expressions also became serious. They just hoped that the number of wolves encountered this time would be smaller, otherwise many people would not be able to go back. Many of them were at the level of martial arts masters and generals, but the opponents they faced were blood wolves in the Wahou realm. Even Wang Gang looked pale. In less than a few minutes, they saw a pack of wolves rushing towards them, and instantly the souls of the dead appeared. There are hundreds of them. Yi, stay with the team. If they wait for them to rush over, Zhang Baichuan can't guarantee Luo Yi's safety, so he plans to strike first. Thunder and flash. Zhang Baichuan rushed over, pointed his thunder gun at the wolves, and thunder exploded directly at the wolves in front. The thunder and lightning instantly knocked the wolves in the area to the ground. The blood evil wolves in the center area were directly blown into cokes, and the surrounding ones were also wailing on the ground. Zhang Baichuan used the lightning thunder fist technique and charged directly towards the wolves. An arc nearly 3 fingers wide within 10 meters around him crackled the approaching blood fiend wolf. Everyone, rush for me. Wang Gang was also shocked by Zhang Baichuan's tricks. This guy refreshed his understanding of students. He couldn't let him take risks alone at this moment. But what everyone didn't expect was that the wolves ignored the others and launched an attack on Zhang Baichuan. Everyone was confused by this phenomenon. Even though the knife struck the blood evil wolf, it still rushed towards Zhang Baichuan. Wang Gang also noticed it at this time and had a bad feeling in his heart. Zhang Baichuan didn't know whether to laugh or cry as the wolves rushed towards him desperately. When you get close, you will be paralyzed by electricity. He will shoot one by one. Isn't this a good reward for points? Do. At this time, Wang Gang directly blew the signal and asked the Grandmaster for help. Zhang Baichuan was a little confused. Isn't it my advantage this time? The wolves were still fearless and kept attacking Zhang Baichuan, as if there was some magic controlling them. Zhang Baichuan was also a little moved at this moment. Wang Gang was well informed and must have discovered something. Facing the dense wolf pack, Zhang Baichuan gave them another thunderous blow. The scene was full of wolf carcasses. Ouch! At this moment, a long wolf roar came from the distance. Everyone felt a little scared. This voice seemed to have a magical power that could destroy everything. The soldiers in the martial arts realm were a little unsteady. Zhang Baichuan felt a little scared. This thing was actually more terrifying than the phantom spider. Before he saw the real body, he felt unprecedented pressure from the voice. At this moment, the remaining blood fiend wolves also stopped attacking and began to hum in the distance, as if responding to their monarch. Make you paralyzed. Zhang Baichuan directly used the thunder in his palm to blast towards the wolves. The soldiers were also confused by Zhang Baichuan's operation. You still have such a cool operation. If you don't have a hammer, you might as well wait for the wolf to come over and clear out these obstacles. Attention! Grandmaster Huang is about to arrive. All personnel below the level of military commander begin to retreat. In front of the Grand Master, everyone from Wahou to Wahou was given food, and Wahou was easily manipulated. I hope Grand Master Huang will come here quickly, otherwise the consequences for these people can be imagined. Yi, you should also retreat. You can't help much by being there. Zhang Baichuan immediately signaled Luo Yi to follow the team. Now was not the time to be angry. Luo Yi gritted his teeth and agreed directly. She clearly knew her own strength, and it would be Zhang Baichuan's burden to stay. Be careful and run away if the situation goes wrong. Zhang Baichuan nodded, his expression becoming solemn. If the Grandmaster didn't arrive in time, he might be in bad luck. The wolves kept besieging him, and it was obvious that he could no longer escape. The host's current points exceed 30,000. Is it 30,000? But what's the use? Is it possible to directly achieve the strength of a master? Burning blood pill, 30,000. Burning blood pill. After use, it can forcibly elevate to a great state. The effect lasts for 1 hour. After use, the whole body will be paralyzed for 3 days. Grass. This dog system is taking advantage of the situation. Just got 30,000 points and came up with something like this. But at this time, if you don't buy it, you can only leave your life to those who support you. Although there is still a resurrection coin, this thing knows how many points will be needed later. If there is only one purchase limit, you won't be able to waste it in the future. Zhang Baichuan could already feel the target coming towards him, and had no choice but to buy it at this moment. My points. Zhang Baichuan wailed in his heart, why was he so unlucky? A giant snow-white wolf appeared in the distance. Its body of more than 3 meters high made the remaining people feel extremely pressured. Zhang Baichuan was also stunned. Isn't this strange beast uniformly purple? Why are there creatures with pure white hair now? Facing the frightened people in front of him, a hint of sarcasm flashed in the white giant wolf's eyes, and a weird smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. This is so awesome. He had never heard of such a thing, White Wolf actually mocking them. Feeling the aura of the giant white wolf around him, Zhang Baichuan swallowed the blood-burning pill without hesitation. I couldn't bear the anger of a strange beast that looked down on me so much. After Zhang Baichuan swallowed the blood-burning pill, he instantly felt that his whole body was extremely transparent, and he had an unparalleled sense of familiarity with the control of spiritual power. He seemed to be integrated with the heaven and earth, which was a wonderful feeling. Is this what it feels like to be a master? It's not something that Waho can compete with. I don't know where he got the confidence to face the Grandmaster directly. A trace of doubt flashed in the eyes of the giant white wolf. This little bug suddenly became stronger. But it still had some disdain for Zhang Baichuan in its eyes. As someone of ancient blood, it had no rivals at the same level, not to mention that this little bug had just crossed the threshold. Captain, please step away first, its target is me. Zhang Baichuan shouted to Wang Gang. Feeling the aura emanating from Zhang Baichuan, Wang Gang retreated immediately. In a Grandmaster level battle, those affected would be either dead or injured. Zhang Baichuan jumped into the air and rushed towards the giant white wolf. This beast's expression made him very unhappy, but after taking the medicine, he couldn't bear to be so angry. Watching Zhang Baichuan rushing towards him, the giant white wolf was a little disdainful. But the thunder and lightning scattered around Zhang Baichuan made him a little disgusted. Ouch! As the giant white wolf roared, the surrounding air began to turn bitingly cold, and ice picks appeared around Zhang Baichuan and rushed toward him. When lightning struck the ice cone, it was not as indestructible as before. After the ice cone shattered, it began to condense and attack him. What the hell is this? Zhang Baichuan's knowledge of high realms was still very weak, and he didn't expect that the opponent's attacks could be controlled at all times. Unable to hide, Zhang Baichuan flew directly to the vicinity of the giant white wolf, and wrapped up the area between them with a thunderous burst. Facing Zhang Baichuan's little magical power, the giant white wolf put away its arrogant expression and formed a layer of ice sculptures around it to wrap it up. The ice cone that originally hit Zhang Baichuan dissipated in the air before it was touched by lightning, and Zhang Baichuan had some understanding in his eyes. These ice cones are condensed through mental control of spiritual power. If you want to avoid being harassed by these ice cones at all times, attacking its body is the most effective. At this moment, there was thunder and lightning, and the original 20-meter range when used in the Waho realm now directly covered 50 meters. The electric arc was as thick as an adult's arm and struck hard at the giant white wolf. The ice sculpture wrapped around the white giant wolf was blown to pieces, and the hair on its body became charred black. Ouch! At this moment, the giant white wolf had turned into a black wolf, and its eyes became filled with resentment. This little bug actually offended its majesty. Only his death can relieve the hatred in his heart. Zhang Baichuan could feel that the air was becoming bitingly cold at this moment, and his spiritual power felt like it was being frozen. The strength of this beast is really terrifying. Even within the same level, he can take a thunderous blow without being seriously injured. The cold was really unbearable for Zhang Baichuan, so he rushed towards the giant wolf with the thunder gun. At this moment, thunder and lightning were raging, and the purple thunder on the thunder gun exuded an aura of destruction. As soon as the gun body came into contact with the giant wolf, it was slapped by its claws, and Zhang Baichuan almost lost his grip. But the giant wolf's claws were also injured by electricity when they came into contact with the thunder gun. Black smoke emitted from the claws, and Zhang Baichuan also smelled the aroma of meat. Zhang Baichuan also felt at this moment that the thunder gun seemed to have some changes when the spiritual power of his master's strength was running. This surprised him, and he seemed certain to defeat it. The giant wolf was furious, and its momentum suddenly surged. The originally burnt fur and claws actually recovered at this moment. "I'll hit you. Isn't this cheating?" Just when Zhang Baichuan was complaining, the giant wolf rushed towards him, and Zhang Baichuan could only dodge in the air. The air around me had a tendency to freeze, and I had to use my thunder gun to resist. At the moment of contact, Zhang Baichuan could feel its unparalleled power and was immediately shot away. "Fortunately, I can fly in the air now and won't be seriously injured." The giant wolf's claws were also burned by electricity when it came into contact with the thunder gun. In anger, it chased Zhang Baichuan and attacked fiercely. But the more it attacks, the harder it becomes to lift its claws. And Zhang Baichuan was beaten terribly by it. His energy and blood surged so much that his body felt like it was about to fall apart. "Stop the evil beast." A person flew over in the sky and saw Zhang Baichuan being pressed down and beaten by a giant wolf. Wang Gang and others were trembling in the distance. Seeing the injuries on the giant wolf's body, Grandmaster Huang felt that the moment for him to show off his power had come. He scolded the giant wolf and attacked it. The giant white wolf was furious at this moment. If it hadn't been suppressed by the lightning attribute, the little bug in front of him would have died hundreds of times. Now another piece of trash is provoking it, it's simply intolerable. Seeing Grandmaster Huang attacking it, the giant white wolf turned around. The surrounding area instantly felt like an extremely cold field, and a huge ice cone swept towards Grandmaster Huang. Faced with this overwhelming offensive, Grandmaster Huang instantly felt the hair on his hair rising. This was actually a half-step master. Zhang Baichuan also felt that Grandmaster Huang might be in danger, so he launched a thunderbolt directly at the giant wolf. The ice cone that flew toward Grandmaster Huang exploded instantly, and the giant white wolf was blown away, and its entire body was scorched black by the electricity. Grandmaster Huang was in a state of ups and downs now. He thought he could easily defeat the injured beast in front of him, but he didn't expect that the other party was at the half-step venerable level and was actually rescued the moment he felt death. Looking at Zhang Baichuan's eyes, he felt like he was training on a dog. Others are only 18 years old, but he is already over 50. Zhang Baichuan became happy when he saw the giant wolf's current condition. "Now you have to stop being angry. Grandmaster Huang, help me raid the formation." Zhang Baichuan shouted to Grandmaster Huang and rushed towards the giant wolf. At this moment, Grandmaster Huang has also woken up. He is still fighting. "What are you thinking about?" The giant wolf was also very angry at this moment. This little bug actually dared to sneak attack on it without respecting martial ethics. But at this moment it had to choose to retreat, as the lightning had already injured its entire body. "Run, or are you pretending to be cool and still want to run away? You sneered at me with your arrogant eyes just now, and now you want to escape completely." Zhang Baichuan flew directly towards the giant wolf with thunderbolt flash. The moment the thunder gun came into contact, the giant wolf let out a series of wails. Following Zhang Baichuan's fierce attack, when a spear pierced its abdomen, the giant wolf directly caught it with his head. Zhang Baichuan was a little dumbfounded. He automatically took the gun and died. But at this moment, I was relieved that this big trouble was finally solved. With a sweep of the spear tip, the giant wolf fell apart. There are also cubs. Not only did he get a crystal, there was actually a wolf cub that didn't open its eyes in the belly of the giant wolf. Zhang Baichuan felt that the kid was not dead, so he directly held it in his hand. Feeling the pink little dot, Zhang Baichuan didn't even smell the fishy smell that is often associated with strange beasts. There was something different about this giant wolf, not like the strange beasts he had seen before. When Zhang Baichuan killed the giant white wolf, Wang Gang and the others also gathered around, their eyes filled with disbelief. "Classmate Zhang Baichuan, this giant wolf is a strange species, different from ordinary beasts." Grandmaster Huang saw Zhang Baichuan's eyes full of stupidity. At this moment, he returned to his master's demeanor and explained some news about the alien species to Zhang Baichuan. After hearing Grandmaster Huang's words, Zhang Baichuan suddenly understood. This is equivalent to humans and zombies, one is infected and has no brain, and the other is a normal person who can think freely. Zhang Baichuan didn't say much, just picked up the wolf cub and flew out. Grandmaster Huang was stunned for a moment. I'm not going to take it from you, so why are you running away? He wanted to find Luo Yi as soon as possible. If the side effects of the elixir occurred, it would be dangerous. He could not trust others. At this moment, Luo Yi was very worried, wondering how Zhang Baichuan was doing. Suddenly, she felt someone flying over from the sky. Then, his eyes were filled with disbelief. Yi, let me tell you a few things. Zhang Baichuan directly put the wolf cub into her arms, told her what happened after taking the medicine, and asked her to take good care of the wolf cub. Not long after, Zhang Baichuan fell down. Although Luo Yi had already been prepared, she was now so frightened that she cried. Thinking of Zhang Baichuan's previous confession, Luo Yi hurriedly reported to Duanmin that they were leaving, and took Zhang Baichuan back to the guest house. Duanmin was also a little confused. What happened? He only made arrangements when he started to march into the other world. He has been sitting in the security bureau, and he still knows little about the other world. At this moment, a call came in. Hey, Huang Dafei, what do you want from me? Huang Dafei's sudden call surprised Duanmin. Wasn't he on a mission in another dimension? Old Du, that Zhang Baichuan is really a monster. We have been training on dogs for decades. Duanmin was speechless for a moment. Just say it yourself, what are you doing with me? What on earth is going on? Don't you want to guard the mission? Then Zhang Baichuan actually killed Master Banbu's alien species this time. Half-step venerable, or alien, are you kidding me? I can still understand half-step grandmaster, but half-step venerable is pure nonsense. Are you stimulated by something to say such nonsense? You, uncle, I saw this with my own eyes. That kid even brought out a mutant cub. Feeling Huang Dafei's exciting words, Duanmin was stunned for a moment. This is impossible. After that kid killed the alien, he picked up the cub and flew away. Isn't he the Marquis of Wu? When did he become a grandmaster? Duanmin was also shocked. That kid couldn't be a master. I saw him use some secret method to improve his strength last time. Obviously, the side effects were not small this time. He has a secret method that can temporarily increase his strength, but it has serious side effects after using it. Don't let this matter out, for fear of attracting evil spirits. Okay, this guy is so fierce, I want to introduce my granddaughter to him. Pull him down. Your granddaughter is only 8 years old. Besides, he is already married. Duanmin was also shocked by Huang Dafei's words. How shameless. Alas, we can't be relatives, so I want to be brothers with him. Duanmin was shocked by Huang Dafei. When he was about to say something, the other party had already hung up the phone. Duanmin rubbed his face, he couldn't accept the news. I have long heard that this kid is very good at causing trouble, and now he can actually kill the half-step master. He thought of something at the moment and called the leader. I don't know what the other party said, but I just heard Duanmin replying, okay, okay. At this moment, Luo Yi was standing in front of Zhang Baichuan. If Zhang Baichuan hadn't told her in advance, she would have thought that Zhang Baichuan was in a vegetative state. Luo Yi found some milk and fed it to the wolf cub. Even though the little thing didn't open its eyes, she could feel the pain when her claws pressed against Luo Yi's skin. At this moment, Duanmin knocked on the door, which shocked Luo Yi. She breathed a sigh of relief when she heard Duanmin was at the door. Luo Qianjin had also greeted the other party before, so he obviously wouldn't harm them, right? Duanmin personally checked Zhang Baichuan's injuries and frowned at this moment. He could feel the spiritual power of the other party's body disappearing directly. There was something serious in his body. What did he say before he collapsed? He said he would be paralyzed for 3 days, and after 3 days he would be back to normal. Luo Yi told the truth that she was worried about Zhang Baichuan after hearing Duanmin's words. But I still believe in Zhang Baichuan in my heart. After all, he has never lied to me. Duanmin also noticed the wolf cub at this moment, and originally planned to take it back. After all, it was too dangerous. But the leader asked Zhang Baichuan to make his own decision, and it was difficult for him to speak. Seeing Duanmin's eyes, Luo Yi panicked for a moment. This wolf cub was specially entrusted to her by Zhang Baichuan for safekeeping. Seeing Luo Yi's eyes staring at him, Duanmin quickly said that he would not rob them. After Duanmin left, many soldiers began to patrol around the guest house. After seeing these soldiers, Luo Yi instantly felt relieved. In the next 3 days, no one came to visit Zhang Baichuan. Maybe Duanmin did it intentionally, which made Luo Yi feel a lot more relaxed. But seeing that Zhang Baichuan still had no reaction, she couldn't be happy either. The wolf cub in his arms already weighs more than 10 kilograms. He can't even open his eyes at this moment, but he likes to be held by Luo Yi. The host kills the half-step venerable realm alien for the first time. The reward points are 50,000. The current points have unlocked all the items in the system mall. I wish the host a happy shopping. In the past 3 days, he could clearly feel Luo Yi's meticulous care for him. It was just that his body was out of his control, and this feeling almost made him collapse. After checking the system mall, he was shocked. There are thousands of items in the mall, and there are all kinds of things, and they are all ridiculously expensive. Thunder Grass, 200,000. Volume 2 of the Supreme Creation Heart Sutra, 300,000. I suspect the system is tricking me, but I have no proof. The host can block items that are currently unaffordable, and can also find items by classification. Zhang Baichuan instantly felt despised by the system, but no one saw it, so he didn't care about the matter with the system. Clicking on the categories, the mall directly divided into several major categories. There are exercises, martial arts, spiritual herbs, functional items, elixirs, weapons, etc. Zhang Baichuan clicked on the martial arts, wanting to see what better martial arts there were. Now his attacks are a bit single. If someone else gets a lightning-proof turtle shell, his damage will be halved. Shocking Thorn, 30,000. Psychic attacks condensed with mental power can have a mental impact on the target. Targets with weaker mental power than your own are in fatal danger, so please use with caution. This is simply the ideal martial art. No, this is called spiritual magic. It's just that Zhang Baichuan's current mental strength has not reached that of Wu Hu, and the opponent will be unable to hit him if he is further away. He thought about it for a long time and finally bought it. After checking among the spiritual grasses, there are also thunder grasses, but he is now at the talent level. If he wants to reach the flawless level, he needs at least 10 flowers, which is 200,000 points. Zhang Baichuan discovered a good thing. This thing is useless to him, but it is a sacred thing to Luo Yi. Wind Spirit Grass. 20,000 items that improve the quality of wind power. 1 flower can be promoted to the talent level, 10 can be promoted to the flawless level. After all, Luo Yi is his woman. He can't afford anything else, so he must buy this one. Lying here for so many days made her anxious. Slowly, Zhang Baichuan felt the spiritual power in his body surge rapidly, and drops of liquid spiritual power quickly condensed in his dantian. At this moment, Zhang Baichuan began to have control over his body. When Zhang Baichuan opened his eyes, he found Luo Yi sleeping beside the bed. In the past few days, Luo Yi had hardly closed her eyes, and now she couldn't help but fall asleep. Zhang Baichuan gently placed Luo Yi on the bed. Looking at the haggard Kariner in front of him, he felt deeply in his heart. When Luo Yi wakes up, give her a surprise. Zhang Baichuan began to check his body, and found that 30% of his spiritual power had been restored. At this moment, he should restore his spiritual power first. Taking out the giant white wolf's crystal, Zhang Baichuan began to try to absorb the energy inside, but he was stunned the next moment. The energy in the crystal seemed to freeze his spiritual power, and a biting cold feeling spread all over his body. He was so frightened that he almost threw the crystal away. I don't dare to touch this thing now. I have time to ask other people. But at this moment, the wolf cub suddenly jumped up and his eyes opened. Zhang Baichuan looked at those big light blue eyes and felt that they were not very smart. The wolf cub ran up to him and started jumping around. It was obvious that the crystal was his, so give it to him quickly. Zhang Baichuan slapped it angrily. You are thinking of eating such a precious thing. The wolf cub was not afraid at all and directly challenged Zhang Baichuan. Then he lay on the ground and started acting cute. Zhang Baichuan was immediately speechless. How could this thing have the same virtue as Erha? Behave well and I can give you this. After Zhang Baichuan said this to the wolf cub, he immediately became well behaved. Zhang Baichuan nodded secretly. This thing is quite intelligent. Zhang Baichuan let him lie down in the nest, and the other party immediately did it honestly. He just raised his head towards him, which meant clearly that Zhang Baichuan expressed his gratitude. Zhang Baichuan took out some spiritual stones that he had left behind before and threw them to it. The wolf cub instantly grinned, indicating that Zhang Baichuan was on the way. Zhang Baichuan didn't intend to pay attention to these idiots, so he took out another 6th order crystal stone and began to absorb it. When all his spiritual power was restored, Zhang Baichuan found that his spiritual power had increased a lot, and his spiritual power was running more smoothly. Recalling the state when his body and mind were unified, Zhang Baichuan also understood at this moment that this was the direction for him to become a master. At this moment, Zhang Baichuan also noticed that Luo Yi was about to wake up, so he quickly stopped practicing and came to her side. Yi, you're awake. As soon as Luo Yi opened her eyes, she was greeted by Zhang Baichuan's loving eyes. She had been frightened for the past few days, and she burst into tears when she saw Zhang Baichuan. Okay, I'm doing a good job. You've worked hard these days. Zhang Baichuan held Luo Yi in his arms and gently rubbed her hair. The rough feeling from his fingertips made him blame himself. Thank you for the hard work of this girl. The situation was too critical at the beginning and we had no choice but to do this. It won't be like this again. Luo Yi didn't speak, she just clung to his arms tightly, as if she wanted to blend into his body. Look, what treasure did I find for you? Luo Yi turned her head and looked over, and found that it was a light blue 4-leaf clover. The aura it exuded made her spiritual energy cheer. What's this? This is wind spirit grass, which can improve the quality of your wind power. The reason why I practice so fast is that the quality of my power exceeds the advanced level. After hearing Zhang Baichuan's words, Luo Yi understood a little. No wonder no matter how hard I practice, I still can't catch up with him. But how did he get such a valuable thing? Luo Yi thought for a while and decided not to ask further questions. If Zhang Baichuan wanted to say something, he would have said it long ago. That he could give this thing to himself was enough to show everything. Luo Yi took the Fengling Sao and kissed Zhang Baichuan on the face, her eyes filled with happiness. Then why is the wolf cub so big? I remember he was the size of a puppy when he came back. When talking about this, Luo Yi thought of why the wolf cub didn't bark today. These days I just growl when I'm hungry. Noob. Luo Yi barked at the kennel, and a dog's head jumped out of the kennel and squinted at Luo Yi. The meaning was obvious. What are you barking at? Luo Yi also found that it actually opened its eyes, and its light blue eyes were really beautiful. Xiaobai, come here. The wolf cub rushed over, jumping left and right around her, swearing a little. It seems to be saying, just call me, can this name be changed? Zhang Baichuan slapped him in the face, and within a few days of his birth, he dared to curse. Luo Yi glanced at him. Why are you hitting it? The wolf cub instantly understood that the mother was the boss in terms of family status. This man has a bad temper and cannot be offended. The wolf cub acted coquettishly towards Luo Yi, showing such a cute expression that Luo Yi couldn't move his eyes away. You can't let this dog be spoiled. You have to beat it if you need to. If Zhang Baichuan hadn't seen it as a she-wolf, he would have stewed it right now. But if you think about it carefully, its mother is extremely powerful and can be Luo Yi's help in the future. Xiaobai is still so young, how can you hit it? Luo Yi was so fascinated by this fluffy wolf cub that she immediately hugged it in her arms. This person is so smart, he acted like a good baby right in her arms. Okay, put it in the kennel. You absorb the wind spirit grass first, cultivation is important. Zhang Baichuan snatched out the wolf cub and threw it directly into the kennel. As soon as the wolf cub fell into the doghouse, he was cursed. But when he saw Zhang Baichuan getting up and walking towards it, he immediately changed his mouth and waggled his tail. Zhang Baichuan laughed angrily. This thing is so stupid. If you ignore it, it will scold anyone it catches. As soon as you make a move, it will immediately give in. It doesn't look like the giant white wolf. Could it be that it was stunned when it was in the stomach? Yi, absorb it now. No longer bothering with this piece of shit, my wife is more important. Luo Yi nodded and put the wind spirit grass into his mouth. It's not as hard to swallow as expected, it tastes like grapes. Within a few seconds of eating it, Luo Yi felt that the spiritual energy in her body was moving rapidly, smoother than before. The meridians in the body are expanding and becoming stronger. This also means that once she has a secret method that can temporarily increase her strength, she will be able to withstand the surge in strength. When Luo Yi opened her eyes, her face was full of excitement. She felt that she could catch up with Zhang Baichuan soon, and then the two of them could fight side by side instead of being a burden. Yi, go and wash up first. Luo Yi didn't close her eyes for several days, and her hair was a mess. At this moment, Fengeling Cao had modified her body again, and she was a little dirty. Luo Yi also noticed this and was not as shy as before. We are an old couple, and we have never seen anything like that. After Luo Yi finished washing, she saw her radiant self in the mirror with disbelief in her eyes. Is this wind spirit grass so powerful? Zhang Baichuan also felt that Luo Yi had a different kind of beauty at this moment. The two looked at each other and smiled, and Zhang Baichuan seemed to have returned to the day when they were in separate classes at school. Yi, let me see it quickly. Seeing Zhang Baichuan's fiery eyes, Luo Yi winked at him mischievously. The wolf cub in the kennel suddenly heard the mistress's muffled sound and immediately got up. That's okay, I still have to support him no matter what. But as soon as it jumped out and barked twice, it was slapped by a big dog in the air and flew away from the kennel. The wolf cub was stunned for a moment and pretended he didn't see it. Otherwise, the big evil guy will really stew it. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.